to TutorMe's GRE preparation course. So, why take the GRE? Well, there are a number of reasons. The most obvious being, you want to go to grad school. Or you're thinking about going to grad school. Or all your friends are applying to grad school and you think you should too. Whatever the reason is, we're here to help. A couple of things right off the bat. The GRE is taken on a computer. This is probably different than the other standardized tests you've taken in your life, like the ACT or SAT. Those are taken on paper, with a Scantron, a number 2 pencil, scratch paper, your graphing calculator, etc., etc. Taking a test on a computer can sometimes bother people, so make sure you're not practicing for the GRE on paper. Get used to staring at a screen, because if you lose focus solely because of the format of the test, it will affect your score in a negative way. The GRE is 4 hours long, including breaks. Here's how the timing of the test is broken down. Analytical writing is 30 minutes per task, verbal reasoning is 30 minutes per section, and quantitative reasoning is 35 minutes per section. An unidentified unscored section that does not count towards your score may be included and may appear in any order after the analytical writing section. Questions in the unscored section are being tried out either for possible use in future tests or to ensure that scores on new editions of the tests are comparable to scores from earlier editions. An identified research section that does not count towards your score may be included in place of the unscored section. The research section will always appear at the end of the test. Questions in this section are included for ETS research purposes. You may or may not get a research section. If you do, it will come last. It does not count towards your score. The analytical writing section will always be first. The verbal reasoning, quantitative reasoning, and unidentified unscored sections may appear in any order. Therefore, you should treat each section as if it counts towards your score. The 10-minute break always comes after the third section. Because you only have a 1-minute break between each of the other sections, make sure you use the 10-minute break to your advantage. So, how is the GRE scored? 3 scores are reported on the GRE. A verbal reasoning score reported on a 130 to 170 score scale in 1-point increments. A quantitative reasoning score reported on a 130 to 170 score scale in 1-point increments. An analytical writing score reported on a 0 to 6 score scale in half-point increments. You'll also receive a percentile score. This is an important note. You will have to decide whether or not to accept your scores and which schools to send them to before you see your scores. Yes, you can cancel your scores immediately after the test, but before you see your scores. You can take the GRE only once a month. Some schools will average out your scores if you send multiples. Other schools will only take your best score. It depends on the school, so make sure you're aware of the situation before you assume that your best score will be accepted by every school. Here's what you'll need on test day. Do not forget any of these items. An official photo ID, aka your license. A list of 4 schools that you wish to send your scores to. Arrive at the test center 30 minutes before your test appointment. If you arrive late, you might not be admitted and your fee will be forfeited. You'll be provided with scratch paper, so don't bring your own, and do not remove scratch paper from the testing room. You cannot bring testing aids into the testing room. This includes pens, calculators, watch calculators, books, rulers, cellular phones, watch alarms, and any electronic or photographic devices. You'll be photographed and videotaped at test centers, so don't get any ideas. Remember, GRE Big Brother is watching. An on-screen calculator is provided during the test, but use it sparingly. Here's what it looks like. As you can see, there's a limited number of basic functions available. One neat feature is that you can transfer a particular calculation from the calculator to the answer box by clicking the Transfer Display button. Note that the calculator uses the standard order of operations when performing multiple operations, so it does not necessarily perform operations from left to right. Remember your order of operations and PEMDAS. Check the order of operations lessons in the quantitative reasoning section. The morning of test day, eat a light and healthy breakfast. Healthy cereal, toast, or eggs are perfect. Avoid heavy foods. No burgers or burritos on test day. Make sure you take advantage of the breaks between tests to walk and stretch. It is important to recharge before every test, so even if you don't feel like you need to stretch, you should. Finally, and this is probably the most important part, do not try to cram the night before the test. Don't stay up all night trying to memorize vocabulary, algebraic formulas, science terminology, etc., etc. Get a good night's sleep. The worst thing you can do to yourself is show up to the test overtired because you stayed up all night studying. With that in mind, enjoy the rest of the ride. I don't know. Do your thing, man.